A brand new free-to-play extraction game is set to drop here very soon. If you like Dark and Darker, Tarkov, or even Ark Raiders, this might actually scratch your itch for quite a while. I'm going to go over the release times, the roadmap, progression systems, and yes, there is no pay to win. There's even some onboarding and on-ramp modes with no gear loss. I'll cover the exact release times, preload information, the confirmed roster, how the monetization is going to work, and even some post-launch roadmap information, as well as a whole bunch more. What's up, World Utopia here, back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things Dungeon Stalkers. Now yes, as I mentioned, this is a brand new extraction game, and this one's actually in the format of a dungeon crawler. Again, it is currently free to play, and it's actually launching in less than a day. So the release times here go as follows. The global unlock is considered August 13th at 2 UTC. But for the NA regions, that's 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 p.m. Central Time, and 10 p.m. Eastern Time. There's some other time zones slotted in here in case you wanted to see. This one is considered in early access right now, with PlayStation 5 in development for future, although they don't have any confirmed date there. Now, unfortunately, because it is considered early access, there actually is no pre-download or preload, or at least nothing has been announced on that front yet. I assume no pre-download, and if anything, maybe an hour before. But as I mentioned, as soon as it goes live, you can jump right in and download the game. Now, there are a few different launch modes, and they have a ton here for different players and different types. As I mentioned, even one with a no gear loss, which if you see here is the quick battle mode. And these are all technically considered PvE, and some have PvP as well. It's a light extraction with no gear loss on elimination, and that has both solos and trio queue. So really cool there, it kind of helps you get into the game and figure out how to play. If you eventually find yourself that you want to play competitively, you can actually jump into the competitive match. That one is actually ranked, and you will drop your full inventory on elimination. This one is trios only, as there are harder mobs and even season boss events, and only legendary gear can drop in this mode. So you will eventually need to play it if you do want the legendary gear. Really cool here though, if you don't want to experience any PvP in your matches, they actually are launching with an adventure mode. This one is unlimited runs with no PvP, and it is essentially just a co-op dungeon crawler with extraction, so you can hop right in and you don't have to play against anybody if you don't want to choose to. So they literally have something here for everybody, whether it's still wanting to PvP with not any gear loss, or wanting to go full hardcore in the PvP match and play an extraction shooter as they were. Or if you just want a PvE mode, you can do so as well. Now, because it is a dungeon crawler, it is a class-based extraction game. They so far have the confirmed roster here, 2 were added very late. I'll go over each and every character very quickly here, where I might do an additional video breaking down all the characters. That could be potentially tomorrow or the next day, so do look out for that one when I do post it. But to go over them briefly, we do have Hilda, who is a shield, sword, frontline tank, and disruptor. Their role is to anchor peel and soak the pressure of other mobs, and of course players. They do a few cool things here like Blade Slam, Counter Strike, and even Taunt. Where next up we have Urid. He is a utility archer and dot control. Of course, his role is a ranged DPS with poison, traps, and strong zone denial. He has things like Toxic Bolt, Place Trap, and Mana Stone. Next up here we have Knave, that is a burst mage and lane clear caster. They delete clusters, control space with big casts. They have things like Magic Arrow, Fireball, Tempest, and Unleash Beam. Moving on here we have Baron the Bruiser. His role is to engage in stagger chain and object breaking. He has a grappling hook, even deep thrust, and slap. Next up we have Rio. They are a flanker and assassin with tracking tools. They can pick targets, thrive on backstabs and vision advantage. Their signature abilities are Approach, Double Thrust, Throw Dagger. Where next up here we have our first technically heal class called Clad. He has a cleric support and debuff with burst healing. He has team sustained, and he can debuff his enemies and shield allies. Of course, that comes with healing, return to dust, holy light, so he is much like a paladin. Moving on here we have Renee. Really cool class here, a summoner and dark mage sustain. Their role, they have minion pressure, lifesteal, and even bleed, and def ignore or defense ignore, with signature abilities being fire elemental, cold, poison missile, and red carnival. This might be a class that I actually do want to main eventually. It was locked in the beta, but we'll have to see if it's unlocked on release. We have 2 more remaining classes here, and these are brand new. Shinobu, which is a blooming shadow ninja burst assassin. Their role is high mobility eliminator with evasive and aerial combos. Their abilities, explosive tag, lightning kick, and even ninjutsu. And then last but not least here we have Lien. They are the 8th Lotus Archer and pure range DPS. They basically do straight damage with a raw output, so no dot damage. Do expect a heavy DPS focus. Again, I might eventually put out a video breaking down these characters a little bit more after I do play each and every single one of them. There is one more character here that was post-launch, a teaser, that is a dual-wield swordsman. We can see that in some dev key art here, but no name or role has been announced yet, and will likely be released post-launch. Moving on here, as I mentioned, monetization and the currency stuff. I know you guys are going to want to know about that. There is currently no pay to win. This is going to be cosmetic only with skins, outfits, and emotes. Of course, usually a seasonal battle pass, which will be there, plus rewards. There's going to be wish stones, which are the premium currency for those cosmetics. And then really cool here, there are something called adventure coins, but those are earned in-game only, and those will unlock strikers and buy runes. So again, no pay to win there, nothing that you can buy other than cosmetics. Now what about the map and environment? What are we going to be playing in, all the different areas? So currently there is a main map called a prison dungeon that's going to have dynamic time, weather, and even some modifiers. There's curses that do randomly affect certain things and will alter the shop limits and even have combat twists. There's been a rumor currently also that there is a new dungeon biome being teased, but that one is being pushed to post-launch potentially, which does lead us onto the actual post-launch roadmap. They do mention eventually there's going to be 1v1 competitive duels that have solo leaderboards and even role imbalance that will be acknowledged later on. Regional matchmaking plus less fragmentation, meaning that you'll be slotted on better servers. Quality of life eventually will be reconnect, even elimination cam support, and auto sort with better stamina UI. So currently if you are DC'd from a game, you're kind of at a loss, but they will eventually add the reconnect. There is a rumored faction system with NPC alliances and quest rewards. And eventually there'll be a training room where you can practice your builds and skills. So all that currently is on the post-launch roadmap. Now for those of you worried about if you can actually run this game or not, or what kind of hardware you need and what this game does entail for its anti-cheat, they're actually fairly low. It's an i3 CPU, which is 3225. It's over a decade-old CPU, so I'm sure most of you won't have that, and you really only need a 1060 graphics card with 8GB of RAM. However, the recommended is an i7 2700K. Again, a fairly low CPU requirement here, and an RTX 2060 though for the graphics card with 16GB of RAM. They mentioned it's only 10GB of storage required right now, so fairly low download it seems, although that probably is subject to change. They had a recent little infograph here, a dev note, saying that they are expanding from 5 to 17 languages. That is either during the early access or after it, so they are getting a bunch of those planned in. And this game does have an anti-cheat currently that is End Protect Game Guard, which is kernel level. So pretty good for the anti-cheat there overall. Again, it is a little bit harder to cheat in these games because they aren't really a shooter, but it is good to see that they do have a kernel level anti-cheat. Overall though, it should about cover for today's video. If you enjoyed it, like, and subscribe, and until the next one, deuces.